Here's some news that's all the buzz in Bangor. The Queen City is the first Bee City USA in Maine.
I caught up with one of the lead organizers of the effort to learn more.
One of the benefits that's right in our name is that it will make our city more beautiful.
The nonprofit Bangor Beautiful's most recent endeavor was spearheading an effort to make Bangor Bee City USA certified.
30% of our food is from pollinated plants. So apples, blueberries, anything with a flowering blossom needs to be pollinated, and bees and other pollinators do that heavy lifting that would be impossible for us to replace if we lose our pollinators.
Becoming a bee city starts with a city council resolution. Bangor checked that box in July.
Putting it into their policies, their comprehensive plans, so that at different parts of the city government, they know about the importance of pollinators and they're thinking about them.
In becoming a bee city, Bangor pledges to use fewer pesticides, promote the cause and educate residents on the effort, and above all, commit to creating and preserving habitat for pollinators.
So we've got a zipper here. 2 years ago, we kind of made the final push.
Head pro Rob Jarvis at Bangor Muni has been a leading voice on this push for pollinators. Their colonies are now home to about 30,000 honeybees.
Certainly, honeybees are our life, and golf courses have always had a bad rap of just, spraying chemicals and being destructive, and that's really not who we are.
Jarvis says it's not just the golf course that's benefiting from the bees, which can fly up to 3 miles away from the colony.
People in the neighborhood are swearing, like, I see your bees on my, flowers, my plants, and I said, well, how do you know? They said, well, I never saw honeybees over here before.
Despite the title Bee City USA, it's not just bees that are the focus. Greg Edwards says 40% of all pollinator species are at risk of extinction in the coming years due to pesticide use, habitat loss, and climate change.
Bees, insects, moths, butterflies, these are all interconnected, and if we take the steps to protect bees, we'll protect all of these groups of important parts of our ecosystem that if we lose them, we're in a lot of trouble. We don't see them, but they're really important to how our ecosystems work. The Bee City USA Committee regularly hosts meetings and pollinator awareness events. Their next one is scheduled for Wednesday, September 11th from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. Volunteers will be repainting the Welcome to Bangor sign near the airport on Outer Union Street and planting a pollinator garden around it, and anybody is welcome to attend.